Hey guys, just making a quick guide here for Barbarian for hotfix number 17. Um, to start things off, I guess for this guide, I'll just go over some basic things. Stat prio, perks and skills, the usable weapons, the gearing, team comps, counters, good matchups, terrain, and what I generally do in these fights. So to start off, I guess we'll go with stat prio. Something like this, like my helmet, is like an ideal piece of barb gear, something with all attributes and armor rating. If you need to choose one, I would go the armor rating over the all attributes, just because getting high PDR on a barbarian, um, your biggest weakness is closing the gap on classes like rangers and fighters with crossbows. So just being generally tankier with more HP to close that gap, because once you're on top of pretty much any class in the game, you'll kill them. So definitely you want some armor rating. Agility gives you move speed to close the gap, as well as action speed, which makes you swing your wormhole faster, so you kill people faster. Strength is a good stat for health and physical power, but to be honest, you already have a lot of strength to begin with, and you'll get a lot of free strength from like Wolf Hunter legs, all attributes. So you'll have a lot of health, and your damage is not lacking on Barb. You'll always have good damage as long as you're using a Wormall. So that's the stat prio. Yeah, agility, strength, armor rating, all attributes. Move speed is a nice secondary stat as well. Again, the gearing, I would always go Northern Full Tunic or Padded Tunic. Padded Tunic, you lose armor rating, but you get free strength off of this. I do like Northern Full Tunic a bit more currently, but you are slower, and there's advantages to both. So if you have a good Padded Tunic, just use that. Always go Wolf Hunter or Heavy Leather legs if you have good ones. 1 all 15 armor, something like this. Or Wolf Hunters with 1 all 13 armor rating like this. These are both really good. Always go Heavy Boots or Rugged Boots. It's no longer the same as last patch. Wizards can kill you pretty easily now if you ape out. So two fireballs to your head will kill you. So Rugged Boots is not a bad option to get you up to like 35. You can get up to like 40-ish magic resist with better gearing. For the cape, you always want to go Tattered or Adventurer Cloak with armor rating, and then anything else on it. On top of that is just a extra stat. Always Riveted Gloves with armor rating if you can get it. All attributes is also good. All my jewelry is agility or strength jewelry with all attributes, agility, and armor rating. And the usable weapons. So for usable weapons for Barbarian, I would always go Warmaul and Viking Sword, or Warmaul, and if you have a really good one, Horseman's Axe is okay. It's not better than Viking Sword, but if you have a good one, you can use it. Felling Axe is a good barb weapon, but since the Warmaul exists in its current state, I would suggest never using the Felling Axe if you can use a Warmaul. Other than that, all the other barb weapons, I don't touch them, because if you run into a barb with a Warmaul, Viking Sword, or Felling Axe, and you have any of the other weapons, you will die 9 times out of 10 to them. You always want to load up on Francescas as well, these axes. They help you close the gap on rangers when they're trying to kite. Like a lot of good rangers, what they'll do is they'll jump shot, turn their back, and draw the arrow and shoot it when they turn back around. So in that brief moment where they jump in the air, you can time a axe while their character's moving through the air. It's a nice time to hit them with those. Next would be the perks and skills. For perks and skills, you always want Iron Will, Robust. These two are must takes. Just health and magic resist to make you more tanky. The next 2 perks are kind of optional. Crush is nice if you're running Warmaul. You don't need Crush if you're running a Felling Axe. Berserker is just because all these other perks are not as valued as Berserker right now, since Barb is taking a good amount of damage from Wizards and Rangers now. By the time you get on them, you'll be getting Berserk value, probably like, I don't know, 10% of this, whereas Two-Hander just gives you flat 5. Potion Chugger's okay, but it makes your pots last shorter, which is not good. Savage's Troll. Carnage is okay too. I would recommend running this over Berserker as well if you are lacking on strength. And then, yeah, the rest of these are kind of troll unless you're running Felling Axe. The skills, I would run Reckless Attack with a Warmaul or a Felling Axe, like 80-90% of the time. Unless you have really low armor rating, then don't run this ability, run Savage Roar. When you're running towards people, you can pop this. Rangers running into another barb, you can pop this, you reduce their damage. Other than that, the only other ability would be Rage and Warcry. You can swap these out. I prefer Warcry right now, but Rage is also really good just to get some move speed. Yeah. That is the perks and skills. The team comps right now. Alright, so for the team comps, I would recommend, in this order, BBC, BBW, and BWC. So the BBC is Barbarian, Bard, Cleric. The BBW is Barbarian, Barb, Wizard. And the third one is Barbarian, Wizard, Cleric. And maybe a last kind of worst comp would be the Barbarian, Ranger, Cleric. This is also viable, but your Ranger needs to be good for this comp. These other three comps, having two supports with a Barbarian is the meta right now. I think Barbarian without any supports is really bad. Like, so if you don't have a Wizard, don't have a Cleric, I would not recommend it. Other than that, the Barbarian Barb Cleric comp excels at just pushing people, taking ground, and taking space from Rangers, Wizards, those types of teams, and also you just kind of run over any other frontliner team. If it's like a fighter, you'll, in this current meta, you'll 9 times out of 10 beat them up. The Barbarian Barb Wizard or Barbarian Bard Wizard, this comp is really good at engages. So you always want to get a good engage off on this comp because you don't have heals. So once the Bard applies drum buffs, Wizard haste invises your Barb in, haste invises himself in, and this comp excels very well for getting first strikes off. They're very explosive and they usually end fights within 5-10 seconds, even less. Barbarian Wiz Cleric, same concept, but you have heals, so you're a bit slower, your time to kill is lower, but you have a backup option of heals. So yeah, that's the team comps. Alright, so for the last part of this guide, I guess would be kind of the counters, good matchups, and what you should be doing in fights, as well as terrain. So the good matchups you have are definitely fighter teams. It's no longer wizard teams generally, unless you have good terrain, and rangers are also quite strong against you as well if they have good gear. Again, if everyone's equal, then in a perfect world, if everyone's equal, rangers, wizards beat barbs, barbs beat fighters. Everything kind of beats fighter right now. Other than that, I think those are the only two really bad matchups for Barb. And then I guess the other would be another buff ball. If they're more geared and they play together better, they will generally do much better. A lot of buff ball fights are reliant on your supports more so than the Barb. If you have good supports, you'll be able to play a lot more aggressive or play together better. Guess I can pull up some video here to show what to do in fights. So I guess here would be a good one. It's another buff ball fight. So here we're just chasing these guys. I'm not sure why they're running. So a good spot to fight would be like where I'm running through this gate. If they caught me running through the gate here, it might have been bad for us since all three of them can hit me and only I can hit them, or hit one of them at a time, like their Barb, for example. So we start the fight off by just throwing axes, just chipping them down slowly, getting some pressure on their Bard, because if their Cleric is forced to heal their Barb or their Bard, they will typically try and heal their Barb first, because if the Barb dies in these fights, usually it's over. And our Bard here pushed their Bard, pressured their Bard, killed him, and then we double teamed their Barb and Cleric. So this is something about like being support reliant. If your support's better than theirs, generally you'll end up winning these fights. So in this clip, the terrain, is not great for a war mall. If you notice, there's a lot of like corners and like the doorways, torches. There's a lot of shit like around. So generally, one thing with the war mall that you can do is when you swing, if you look like how I did there, if you look left as you swing to the left here, or look right as you swing left, you will stop the war mall from hitting the wall, and you can continue the swing. And then I shake my mouse around just to keep the war mall in the center of the screen, so I can kind of keep visibility on what's going on in these fights. Yeah, this is a BWC, so they don't have a bard. So generally, if they don't have a bard, you 1v1 with their barb with bard buffs, you will always beat them, unless their gear is just like incredibly better than yours. And then yeah, you want to prioritize killing their barb, then their wizard, then their cleric, if you can, in a perfect world. Otherwise, if you have a good advantage where you kill their wizard for free, then you should take those fights. Here you see I have bard buffs, and their barb does not, so I just 2-tap him here and swing faster than him. So yeah, you want like good terrain. Like this room here is a decent room for barb. The only things that can really stop your swing are these pillars in the middle, and you have a lot of space to work with. And then you can use the pillars also to dodge wizard spells. Like I'm not sure if I do it, but I think I did it earlier in the fight. But yeah, you want to use terrain to your advantage. So use it to line of sight skills, but also try not to hit your war mall on any terrain, as if you hit anything with a war mall, it recoils, and you will lose a lot of swing time. Anyways, yeah, that's the guide. Just let me know if you guys want anything specific. I've never made one of these, so kind of bad at it. Yeah, just let me know if you have anything you specifically want, like fight breakdowns or something. I can do that as well. Just let me know, or full raids. All right, thanks guys.